Shalom, this is Yair Davidiy, speaking to you from the land of Israel, speaking to you on behalf of Brit-Am Hebrew nations. This is JNews-6. We're giving you news and views and other things from the land of Israel. And it is now the 10th of September 2014, in Hebrew, the 15th of Elul, in the year of creation 5774. First of all, according to a news report on Israeli TV, Channel 2, we now realise that we've just finished, or not finished, we're just winding up, one could say. There's a ceasefire that might last, might not last. We're winding down a little from the Operation Protective Edge against the Hamas in Gaza, in which 2,000 Palestinians were killed, half of them terrorists or associated with Hamas terrorists. 2,000, that is 1,000, about 1,000 of the 2,000 killed. 75 Israelis were killed, died. Also there were casualties and losses and so on. And that was against the Sunnis. The people in Gaza are Sunnis. Most of the Muslims in Israel are Sunnis. But we also have Shiites. The Shiites are the people who scourge themselves. They are worshippers or devotees of Ali, the son-in-law of Muhammad, whatever they are, a different type of Muslim to the Shiite, to the Sunnis. The Shiites are centered in Iran. Iran is a major Shiite power, and it is fighting or quarreling with the other Muslims, the Sunnis in the Middle East. And so it's quite complicated. The whole stories are quite complicated. But we have people in southern Lebanon, the Hizbollah. The Hizbollah also Shiites. They are backed, funded, trained and given supplies and equipment and weapons by Iran. They have a mini-state type of autonomy there. Hezbollah has 100,000 rockets. 100,000 rockets, 10 times more than the people in Gaza had. It has 100,000 rockets. And these rockets are stacked up and prepared to fire against Israel, not only in Hezbollah land, Hizbullah, whatever you call it, in the southern Lebanon, but all the way back in the hinterland throughout Lebanon, reaching into Beirut, the capital of Lebanon, where also they have rockets pointed at the state of Israel. In addition to the 100,000 rockets that they have of a moderate, similar to those used in Gaza against us, they have 5,000 long-range rockets that can be loaded with heavy casualty-causing heads and the chemical heads and all kinds of whatever things. They have 5,000 of these missiles. Also, some of them are stationed in Beirut, the capital of Lebanon. And not only that, but we have, according to Colonel Dan Goldfuss, the commander of the 769 Hiram Infantry Brigade, that an encounter with Hezbollah is almost inevitable. Also, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has told the Secretary of the UN that such is the case, and he also said that in a future encounter there may be many more civilian casualties, because the Hezbollah has its rocket station in the homes of private people, and these too will have to be dealt with. The homes will have to be dealt with, so there will be casualties from civilians who own these homes. So and so this is a problem. Also, Colonel Dan Goldfuss warns us that an encounter with the Hezbollah could be very serious. They have a lot of men. They have a lot of ammunition, a lot of weapons. Also, for the last 3 years they've been fighting in Syria alongside Assad, and they have suffered casualties, but together with this they've also gained battleground experience and professional polish to their forces, and they are quite formidable. So this is what we are faced with. This is what we will have to do. And the Hezbollah, similar to the Hamas, wants to destroy the state of Israel, as do a lot of other people. There are so many people in the world today who want to destroy the Jews, want to destroy the state of Israel, that we might liable to get a complex about it if we did not look at who these people are and then realise that it is an honour not to be liked by such creatures. At all events, this is what we are up against. This is another aspect of reality. In the Middle East today, there are 14 million displaced people. 14 million. 11 million of them are Syrians. That is, in Syria, half the country's population are dislocated. They are refugees. And the refugees crisis started even before the present civil war, because agriculture in the Middle East is collapsing. Apart from Israel and apart from a few other places all over the Middle East, agricultural subsistence is collapsed. And they're now dependent almost entirely upon oil, money from oil. Egypt receives billions of dollars every year from the Gulf states. That's what keeps the Egyptians eating. That's what enables them to get by. If it wasn't for that, there would be disaster. And so too throughout the Middle East we have a problem. And also in Syria we have the Allawis. Assad, the president of Syria is named Assad. He belongs to the Allawi minority. This minority in effect was originally, or still is, somehow or other a worshipper of moon. They are moon worshippers or pagans, with the Christians of Christianity and of Islamic belief and so on. They were considered pagans by the Muslims. The Muslims persecuted them. The Muslims oppressed them. The Muslims hurt them severely in every single way, not every imaginable way. The Muslims oppressed the Allawis for centuries until the French took control for a short period of time of Syria, and the French discovered that Allawis had military capabilities. So they used the Allawis as policemen and soldiers as go-betweens between themselves and the locals. After the French left, the Allawis, through a series of political parties known as the Ba'ath and so on, they took control of the country. But now the veneer of social justice and social equality and of secularism has fallen up to pieces. Now the Allawis are in effect fighting for their very existence. They are liable to be exterminated. Horrible things are liable to be done to them by the other Syrians. Therefore they are doing what they can. They are doing what they can to diminish the local Syrian population, that is of their own people, to diminish the population by killing them or driving them out, and hoping for the best that somehow things will work out, and they have no other choice almost. So this is another reality that as to how things are shaping up, without even recalling or without mentioning ISIS, which is in the north, which is also liable to come south, and also is a menace to all of us. It goes around cutting off people's heads and threatening people and imagining themselves to be who knows what. So this is part of the reality, which is actually much more complex than we have described it. This is part of what is going on in the Middle East. In addition to this, we all have to do as well as we can, what we can, while we can.